I was actually with my two daughters and my niece and nephew, and we went to play laser tag for the day. And it was just us to start with, and then in came Abdu, and the entire youth group came in as well. And at first, I didn't know if we were supposed to be there, if they had the place rented out. So I was apprehensive and didn't know what I needed to do. And he could detect that immediately and walked over to me, introduced himself. He gave me his card, and he invited all of us to be a part of the group and invited us to play laser tag with them. I consider myself to be a pretty open-minded person and to be comfortable with people who are different or people that I may not have a good understanding or knowledge of prior. But even with that being said, I definitely had some apprehension and fear, kind of more just the unknown, and not being somebody who had been exposed to many people of the Muslim faith. I've traveled pretty extensively, and I consider myself fairly worldly, but at the same time, most of my travels to other countries is the only place I've had any sort of interaction with people of the Muslim faith.
Fred Rogers, best known for his children's TV show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, once shared the following story. When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." To this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, and am always comforted by realizing there are so many people to help, so many caring people in this world. It's discouraging to face the brokenness that is woven through ordinary communities like ours, whether it be hunger or hate, loneliness or lack. But if you look for the helpers, you will almost always find Murfreesboro Muslim youth among them, serving and loving and sharing, building bridges, and setting an extra plate at the table.
When it comes from his heart and when it comes from love, people are going to see that. They're going to open up and they're going to want to reciprocate, because that's how humans are. So I think that just as I think and reflect back on my first meeting with him, I was apprehensive, I was fearful. I didn't know what the best way to respond was, or I might say something that's offensive, or just all these thoughts of fear going through my head. And with one handshake and a smile, he made a difference. And I immediately was at ease, and I thought, okay, I'm interested. I want to know, what does this group stand for? Who are they? How can they affect me? How can I make a change with them?
My name is Michael Jeanette. I'm the pastor at Advent Lutheran Church, and just wanted to share about my interactions with the Murfreesboro Muslim youth. They've certainly benefited our community in countless ways. They're a great example of what service looks like, service with selflessness, caring for others, showing hospitality, showing mercy. These are all wonderful gifts that we should all emulate. And I thank Murfreesboro Muslim Youth for kind of taking the lead in that area in our community. Certainly benefited myself and my family and my congregation as we've grown to know so many wonderful people through Murfreesboro Muslim Youth. Thanks.
I just want to say, a really wholehearted thank you to Abdu and the Murfreesboro Muslim Youth Group, because I think that they've done something that I wanted to happen, and I know I don't stand alone in saying that, and people look for leadership, and they may have a spark within themselves that says, this is something that needs to be done. I want to ignite the spark, and I want a positive change in my community, and I holistically want everyone to get along, which I understand is utopia, and that's just not possible, but that shouldn't stop us either. That shouldn't prohibit us from doing what we can, even if it's small. These small things add up, and I want to thank him because he's provided that leadership, and we all have been looking for that in a way to make positive change in the community and to kind of come together. So I just want to make sure and say thank you.